Hello, everyone, and welcome to OCM Magazine. My name is Ken, editor of the publication, with my co-host Jay. He is an incredible contributor to the magazine, so we are happy to have him. And we also have special guests, Sofia, Mapleleaf, JayB, Joker12, and Julian Wahl. So today, we are going to be talking about the Small Grants Committee. Super excited to be talking about that. So let's start things off with a dad joke. Ready, guys? All right,
Ready.
Let's do it. Why do seagulls fly over the sea? Because if they flew over the bay, they'd be bagels. Had to start things off with a joke to keep things light around here.
Awesome. Love dad jokes.
You must have a lot of kids.
Yes, I have 4 boys. They are under 9 years old.
Because that's deep in the dad joke. That's very deep in the dad joke.
I'm totally using that tomorrow morning.
Love it. So yeah, just wanted to reminisce real quick on NYC. I know I saw Sofia there, saw JayB, saw Mapleleaf. It was a really fun time. Just wanted to get some quick thoughts from you guys, what you thought of the event down there. Sofia, if you want to start.
Right. It was an amazing week of events. It was actually the first time that all of our events were DAO organized and DAO funded. So that was really incredible to see.
Yes.
It was by community members, OBG, ILI. We had a lot of support from various other members like on the internet who created those amazing code to images that we used at the New York Stock Exchange. We had a welcome happy hour where Violetta serenaded. It was amazing. Monkey Misfits every morning. We had arts and culture activities every day that Illy organized. New York Stock Exchange, we had a couple private tours. We got to see closing bell ceremony. The event itself was really one of just those moments in life where you're pinching yourself while you're there saying, I can't believe this is happening. It's amazing. It's beautiful. It was, and to share it with our community, it helped solidify our bond and to share that experience together. And then on Friday, it was actually our COO's, Amanda Terry's birthday. So we got to celebrate the beer garden and welcome all friends of OCM to join us and just had a wonderful time together.
Yeah, it's really cool. I hope people get to experience an IRL with other monkeys wherever they are. We encourage people, if they can gather 5 or more monkeys together, and we'll talk about it some more, put in a request. I think it's $50 per person, but just enough to kind of break some bread, maybe have a drink, and see where the conversation goes.
So I wanted to start talking about the Small Grants Committee, what it's all about, how it came to be. Maybe Julian, if you want to start and kind of touch upon, what the SGC is and maybe how it all got started.
Yeah, so I can chat a little bit about what the SGC is. Essentially, the Small Grants Committee does 3 main things, and it has 3 main.
All right. Well, while he is getting unfrozen, I'll let him talk about 3 roles, but maybe I can get started about how I see the SGC.
Yes, please.
I think the SGC is really all about empowering our members through funding and support to further initiatives that they feel passionate about and that also benefit the OCM community and brand. It's about providing opportunity where previously there was none. So all with consideration for alignment with our core values of RISE, respect, integrity, sustainability, and enrichment, and our goal of incentivizing positive collective action. So the possibilities really feel endless with regards to the SGC. We support builders, creatives, the community and brand building, altruistic endeavors, the full spectrum really, and it's just the beginning. So since Web3 is all about community and the SGC is about making the most of this amazing community that we've curated. So we really want to empower the people that are in our community to take action, and to have what they need to be able to move forward with their vision.
I'm only going to add one thing actually, because I think that kind of really well covered. So clearly, primary goal is it generates a lot of visibility and even just brings the community closer together. I mean, even my own joining the SGC has suddenly found me reading all these in detail, thinking about them, trying to contribute. So the network of any NFT project, is really the strength of the community. And I think this is it's an ongoing, continuous way to bond people together. We all get to know each other a bit better. And I think that's that kind of long-term powerful thing. The second thing, and I guess it's not a primary function, but we are trying to do this, is we always talk about the banana economy and how we are trying to get bananas there for free every day, tweeting, Discord, etc., and that engagement. We're trying to find a way for that to infiltrate and provide value. So you're seeing projects donate bananas back. We've done an SGC where we've just paid out in bananas. It's a side function, but it gives us an opportunity to kind of push that agenda a little bit and to help people with it, which I think is a positive for the long term. It's kind of a bit secondary, but I think it allows us to kind of keep pushing that agenda, if that makes sense. That's kind of my two additional points.
And the nice thing about the SGC is we're able to actually communicate with the people who are submitting requests. So there's a lot of back and forth, and they submit something and maybe we have ideas as to how they could incorporate bananas, and they're like, well, we're not sure. And so we give some ideas, just trying to make the most out of these projects and initiatives. So absolutely, we are always aligned with building the banana economy, whether or not that's our official role. I know it's prop houses this season, it's not necessarily SGCs, but we're all aligned and we have the same mission and goals.
That's great. So essentially you guys are like the boots on the ground with the community, talking with them, giving feedback, and just providing that support to community members. I think that's really awesome. Julian is back. If you wanted to continue on what you were saying regarding the SGC.
Yeah, definitely. So the SGC essentially has three functions that I feel like are important to know. The first of those function is for projects that don't quite fit under the current prop house. And for this season, that's building out the banana economy. The second is projects that could use a smaller amount of seed funding to build out a sort of proof of concept. And then the third would be time-sensitive activations that require a quick turnaround.
Yeah, and we've seen that before, where we had opportunities that had to be executed less than 24 hours later. And it was tagging each other in Discord. If we had cell phone numbers, texting each other, being like, hey, we've got to vote on this. Let's see if we can make this happen. So absolutely, time sensitivity is something that we are able to do. It's not necessarily all requests are going to be approved or processed in 24 hours, but if that is the situation, that's something that we are able to do and execute funds too. So that's pretty incredible.
Definitely.
That's great that you guys have that communication channel where you can just ping each other, boom, 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 make a decision, get it done, and then allocate funds if you need to. So I think that's awesome.
Yeah.
And I think it's also worth just giving a shout out to Michael from Proxy Chat, who has done such a phenomenal job building out this platform. In season one, actually funded, I think it was either through Prop House or the Small Grants Committee, but it has been such an instrumental tool for the Small Grants Committee for season 2 to be able to receive, process, and communicate about small grants. And originally in the beginning of the season, Proxy Chat was actually a discontinued service that he has kept running solely for the purpose of Small Grants Committee. So I just want to make sure that Michael gets his flowers for continuing that service and just let everyone know how valuable of a tool this has been to the SGC.
Awesome. That's a great model. I'm going to jump in here, and I just wanted to, I'll start off with Mapleleaf. And if you could maybe do one or two of your favorite items that you've seen come through your way and get funded, or not even, but just what are a couple of highlights you want to focus on?
I mean, look, one that's near and dear to me was the poker to start off with. It's an ongoing one, and that's one that came up early, and we are trying to, I think, move a lot of the ones that have come through previously into more self-sustaining themselves through bananas and so on and so forth, and I think everyone's trying their best to get to that model, and that seems to be an ongoing focus of the SGC and the overall community. The other one that's actually probably most recent was the kite surfing.
Manuela.
There you
Jingo?
go. Yeah, the last Manuela, I knew that the last name.
The wing foil.
So that one that's a recent one, and was one actually, going back to what Jay said earlier, one that him and I had some discussions about offline just because of timing and everything else with everyone else. It made sense, and excited to see what she's going to be able to, I guess, expand our horizons.
So yeah, Julian, you want to just jump in and give like a highlight of one or two that you really liked?
Yeah, one that I really wanted to point out was the rise.edu by Brian. And the reason I wanted to point that one out is because he applied to Prop House round 1 for funding and didn't get it. And then came to the Small Grants Committee after kind of proving his concept through Prop House, and was able to receive a much smaller amount of seed funding through the Small Grants Committee. And that's just one of my favorite use cases of Small Grants Committee, is that kind of proof of concept, smaller seed funding. And since then, I think we've all been able to see the incredible content and work that Brian has been able to do to add value to the OCM community.
Joker, you want to jump in next?
The most recent ones, I guess two that I like, and it's not just about the process we've gone through, but I think Heavy D's stuff is just so good in general. He's done a lot, and you can just kind of auto do your monkeys into full sets. So he's obviously clearly super creative. I was at the Arts DAO event in Dubai, and I have to say, one of the things that really made it is you walked into the central zone and there was banners all over the bar, you know, just all the ideas, and obviously working remotely. It's amazing when you can make things look good and cool, how that can add so much. So I think just his stuff in general, I think adds quite a bit. And obviously there's been, I think, one or two, and certainly one that's come through off the back of that. So just in terms of the quality of the stuff he does, I love it. The other one, and again, maybe a bit biased, but we had a recent prop in Italian bananas. So I'm just going to highlight because it's quite a cool one. So Ape DAO approved a new magazine, I believe it's called Beyond the Swamp. And it's to talk all about Yuga assets and like cool stories and lore about Yuga. And then he threw an idea at them to actually put OCM, which they've agreed, and they're going to put it in the very first edition. So he's got a semi-non-fiction, which is his style. And I guess, you know, this is that idea. Do people believe in the value of bananas? And he kind of calculated what he normally would get for an article and then put the prop in bananas, which took SGC a while, but we kind of managed to pull together, buy some bananas and get it. So I like that one for what it brings to that overall economy. And I think the exposure once that article's published would be cool. So that's probably two that I really like.
Yeah, it's great and interesting. And I really liked how, you know, the poker was kind of started as a concept. Let's see if we can get these things traded, have some value. And, you know, it's just turned into all these different things that keep popping up. And yeah, it's very interesting. JayB, do you have a couple?
Yeah, I mean, I like them all. I think I'm excited to see what people do with the activations. I'm a little bit biased right now to the Hoodies Club. I've been seeing a lot of the chatter around what they're trying to do. And it really starts with a directory, you know, trying to make sure that people who are interested in starting something know who to reach out to for content, creatives, you know, biz dev, strategy, and development help. So trying to have that within our community is really going to help to empower even beyond just the funding itself.
For sure. And Sophia, you want to wrap it up?
In my head, I have 3 different categories. So the first one is really about empowering our community and trying to create something that really accentuates the network that we already have. And that's where the Hoodie Club comes in and what they're building, and the Content and Media Factory, you know, creating these directories of being able to identify who can do what within our community so that we can enhance collaborations and, you know, build partnerships to build more and create more. The other area is the altruistic and the philanthropic side. And the OCM Brazil group has been incredibly active, and they've done a variety of initiatives that have been philanthropic and have done a lot of good, starting with renovating the skate park in Brazil, where they actually, like, first off, fixed up like the concrete of the skate park in this favela in an underprivileged neighborhood and painted it in such a way that it looks like the OCM logo from the sky. And then they hired a drone and got like the visuals and everything. They photographed and took video from beginning to end so that the entire community could participate and partake in the journey. And some of the things that they said that were really like touching to me was, one, they noticed that all of a sudden, like, parents were going to the skate park and teaching their kids how to skate and actually playing in this area that wasn't previously being used. And also that neighbors were starting to sit on their porch just to like be out there and observe what was going on in their neighborhood. So that enhances their actual in real life communities. And I think their quality of life. So that had a significant impact and really moved me because it felt like, here we are behind our computers. I'm in California, we're all over the world, but we were able to kind of facilitate this initiative that had a tangible impact on the quality of people's lives and is so aligned with the doing good portion of On Chain Monkey. And they also, the one that actually brought me to tears was their Christmas initiative that they did, where we funded for them to go and buy all of this food for girls' orphanage, also in an underprivileged neighborhood, about 70 girls or so, aged 4 to maybe 13, and did a whole Christmas celebration, a feast, brought Santa Claus, brought like an inflatable playground, and bought a gift and wrapped it for each of the girls, made coloring books, and also documented the whole journey so that we could all participate in it. So it was really incredible. And then the third category that I think of is kind of like the seed funding. And that's where new businesses like NFT canvases and flex tags comes in, because these have been able to, number one, use the banana economy, bring bananas and circulate them back into our ecosystem. And also, has the potential to bring revenue back into the DAO. And they've been incredibly successful. There's a variety of different initiatives, and I just have to say that all of the people who have submitted and won requests are worthy of just being highlighted. And I'm so excited by what you're doing, Ken and Jay, is that you're really bringing these stories to life and helping people kind of like humanize the experience, So really appreciate everything that you guys are doing and think that all of the recipients are worthy of having their stories told.
Awesome. Yeah. Thank you for sharing all of those. I love the just different, heartwarming story to a fun poker club and just everywhere in between, IRL meetups. It's just hitting so many different bases. Yeah. We just want to say thank you and thank you for sharing that. And I think Ken might have something for next.
Why, yes, I do. Thank you so much, Jay. All right. So let's talk about what's on the horizon for the SGC. So what's on your guys' plate coming up here, maybe in the next month, 3 months down the road, long term? Is there something exciting you're looking forward to? This question's kind of just for anybody who wants to jump in and answer that question.
This quarter have actually transformed the way in which things are being allocated. Sofia spoke about things in 3 different buckets, but we've also put grants into, I guess, meetups was a big theme. So we have events, meetups, and then we have the regular grants. And I think as we started the season, it was suddenly apparent that we could lose most of the funding in meetups, but we felt that we valued that enough that we then create those buckets. And then you didn't have somebody who's trying to seed a business or get something going, like the magazine competing with, a massive thing at NFT NYC, which we think that's big as well. So for me, that points to what's next for SGC. It's just like a maturity. So while the props themselves are coming in, while things are being built, I think I see an ongoing path where SGC and the DAO as a whole, and I know there's kind of a DAO council conversation going on now, is going to get more organized. It's not to say we don't stay organic, but I just feel, and I'll speak personally here, sometimes I look at different props and I'm thinking, okay, I really like that idea, but does it help OCM or does it help the banana? How does it fit? And I'm often sitting there trying to challenge myself, going, okay, well, what are we trying to do for the best interests? And we are, if you look at our chat, there is this constant tone of how we organize ourselves, what we should do, what should we approve. So I think there's going to be an ongoing path where the SGC itself is going to mature, right? I think there was already some great guidelines prepared for events, and I think we're going to see more of that. And that's then going to help the community with the sorts of things they're doing, the sorts of things they do. So for me, I think that's going to be an ongoing theme and quite an important one that we're going to grow. And that's the first thing that comes to my head.
So I'd like to just add on to that a little bit. So the SGC was kind of like the only entity that was capable to quickly process the IRL funding requests. But the goal is for the community to self-organize to create an IRL like events committee or something along those lines to take over that responsibility, so that we have, various different committees that are addressing different areas of funding. And I would love actually to hear JayB share a little bit about what's been going on, in the past week or so that we've been working on.
Well, yeah, I think it just feeds off of what Joker was saying and what a lot of us have been putting some time into, trying to get more mature as an organization. And part of that is that we talked about it before. We lost proxy access in the beginning, and we tried to use Google Sheets, and it worked. It did the job, but it's not as sophisticated. It's not as transparent, and people have to link up their Gmail account, which not everybody's comfortable sharing that. So, we are working on structurally proposing something to the community to get, their feedback, their intake. And it's really the first step. I think we're hoping that there's going to be more of that. And, there's going to be other platforms for us to share that. So, by the time this comes out, it's probably already going to be out in front of everybody, hopefully voted through even. But I think just more to come. And I would encourage anybody who has thoughts on where this DAO as a whole should be going. As Sofia mentioned, we're kind of a friction point along the way where we can work with you. We can make sure that, the attention is getting around your ideas and where you should go if it's just something that you should run with, right? Raise a prop, raise a submission yourself, or get in touch with the right people.
Yeah, so maybe to piggyback off that, what would you say to someone who is maybe considering applying for funding to the SGC, or even someone who is interested in joining the SGC? What advice would you give both of those people? Someone who wants to apply for a grant, and also someone who's interested in contributing at a high level and joining the SGC?
Yeah, get involved. People notice. For me, it was around Monkey Misfit. I kind of helped team up with Hippo. In season 1, I tried to touch base with her and some of the people that were spearheading that. And I asked if I could raise a proposal. This season, OBG did it, right? OBG got involved with the New York meetup. So did Illy. So I think finding a way to interact with others in the community, to me, that's the best way forward. Start somewhere.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with JayB. Just get involved, start engaging with the community, share your ideas, participate. That's really important. When a request comes to us, that's one of our first initial feedbacks that we give is, why don't you start taking some action, participating in our ecosystem? And that will make this entire journey, your proposal, your request, your project initiative, so much more successful if you can, develop those relationships within the community. So that's absolutely something that we look for. And also, is it aligned with our core values? Is it aligned with RISE? Is it aligned with doing well and doing good? Is it aligned with furthering the banana economy? Is it aligned with community and brand building? All of those things. And so those are all considerations. And another really important thing is, as elected officials, we are representatives of the on-chain monkey community. So we might have very strong opinions about something in particular, or really like something because it's something that's of particular interest to us. But we have to kind of separate that occasionally and just be like, hold on, it's not about me. It's not about what I want or what I like. What would the community want us to do on their behalf? And so that's something that, we take very seriously and is on our mind as we are processing all of these requests. Take the initiative, reach out. If you are uncertain, you don't know if it's something that we might be interested in or not, reach out to us. We've all opened up to communicate with anyone in the community, and, just take the initiative. That's the first step.
I just want to say, just as an OCM community member, that you guys are doing phenomenal work. We appreciate you all for just taking that role in the SGC seriously and funding projects that will ultimately benefit the community as a whole. So truly appreciate you all. Jay, is there anything else that you want to add, or any questions you have for this wonderful group here?
Not right now, but thank you for everything you do. Thank you for your time. And yeah, we're a story that, you are telling right now because we met each other through Twitter. He had an idea. I liked it. I went for it, and that's why we're here. So thank you.
Thank you so much for doing this for the OCM Magazine, who's you've moved up breakneck speed. I'm so impressed by everything that you've accomplished since your prop was approved. So congratulations to you too. And thank you for hosting us, for giving us this, platform to share about the SGC with everybody.
Absolutely. It's been an honor having you guys on, and we hope that we see you guys again in the near future.